Let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're tackling a seriously fascinating biological mystery. We spend so much of our lives just assuming our bodies function exactly like everyone else's. We kind of take it for granted that our baseline is the human baseline. But what if it's not? Today, we're exploring a super intriguing concept: how to figure out if your DNA is what we'd call normal, or if it actually falls into an astonishingly rare category. We're going to look at everyday human experiences and see how a tiny fraction of the population experiences them entirely differently.
So, do you have hidden superpowers encoded in your DNA? I really want you to think about that for a second. Now, I'm not talking about shooting lasers from your eyes or flying, sorry to disappoint, but rather subtle biological advantages that practically feel like superpowers. Throughout this explainer, I'm going to walk you through a sort of self-diagnostic checklist. We've got 6 highly specific, rare biological signs sourced straight from genetic and psychological research. As we go through these, keep a running mental tally, okay? Let's see if you might be walking around with some hidden superpowers.
Section 1: Invisible and Odorless. Picture a warm summer evening. For most of us, that means a very relatable, very annoying struggle. You're constantly slapping your arms, scratching itchy bites, basically feeling like a walking, talking buffet for mosquitoes. But for a select few with rare genetics, they are completely, undeniably chilled out. The mosquitoes literally just ignore them. It's like they don't even exist in the insects world. Now, the reason behind this invincibility isn't magic, it's pure biology. Your body naturally releases specific chemicals that act like a giant beacon pulling mosquitoes right to you. But if you have this first rare genetic sign, your body simply doesn't release those attracting chemicals at all. You are effectively invisible to mosquitoes. It's literally a genetic stealth mode. Our second trait is actually pretty closely related to those chemical emissions, and it comes down to a specific gene variation. Some people can work out for hours, absolutely drench themselves in sweat, and yet they never, ever smell bad. This specific genetic change actually targets and reduces the exact type of sweat that produces odor. It all builds into this absolutely fascinating biological chain reaction. Step 1. The gene variation alters the actual composition of the sweat your body makes. Step 2. Because that sweat is fundamentally different, the bacteria that normally feed on it, the ones that cause that terrible smell, they simply can't thrive. They've got nothing to feed on. Which brings us to step 3. The result is zero body odor, a complete lack of smell no matter how hard you hit the gym. If you've never had to worry about your deodorant failing you, you just might have this rare variation. Section 2: Supersenses and Energy. That brings us to hypersmell sensitivity. Have you ever walked into a crowded room and immediately detected exactly who ate a specific dish for lunch? Or pinpointed exactly who is wearing a particular brand of perfume across the room? While everyone else is just smelling a generic blend of room air, your brain isolates and identifies these faint, specific odors instantaneously. The really crucial thing to understand here is that this isn't just about being highly observant. Having this rare genetic sign means your nose is mathematically more powerful than the average person's. A normal sense of smell processes a standard baseline of data, but an unusually powerful nose is absorbing and interpreting a much denser, richer layer of aromatic information. It's pretty much equal to having a highly calibrated biological sensor right in the middle of your face. Okay, now here is a trait I think most of us really wish we had. We all know the standard baseline for rest, right? You need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep to function properly and not be a total zombie. But this rare genetic trait directly contrasts that. Some individuals can sleep for just 4 to 5 hours and wake up feeling completely fresh, perfectly energized, and ready to tackle the day with absolutely zero grogginess. Now, to be clear, this low sleep energy isn't about having incredible discipline, and it's definitely not from drinking dangerous amounts of caffeine. It is a genetic pattern hardwired right into the DNA. It's just how their body naturally operates. But our source material does offer a really specific warning here. Even if you do have this rare trait, you shouldn't overuse the ability. Pushing your body too hard, even when you've got a genetic advantage, definitely has its limits. Moving on to Section 3, Built Like a Tank. This concept of natural armor brings us to our 5th trait: naturally denser bones. Have you ever taken a really heavy fall or had an impact where, by all standard logic, you absolutely should have broken something, but you walked away with surprisingly little damage? Well, the source points out that some individuals have a genetic makeup that literally results in bones that are naturally much stronger and denser than the average human skeleton. It's basically built-in shock absorption. And right alongside that bone density is our sixth and final sign: weakened pain signals. In some rare cases, when a person gets injured, they actually feel significantly less pain, and their physical reaction to the injury is much lower than normal. This happens because the genetic pathways responsible for sending those pain signals to the brain are inherently weak. The message of pain just doesn't broadcast as loudly.
But we really need to highlight a crucial truth from our research here. Pain is important. I want to pause on this for a second because while feeling less pain sounds like the ultimate superhero trait, it actually serves a vital protective purpose. Pain is your body's alarm system. It's what tells you to pull your hand away from a hot stove or when you need to rest a twisted ankle. So lacking that strong alarm system is a very rare but remarkably complex genetic hand to be dealt.
Section 4, the 1% verdict. All right, let's do a rapid recap of the 6 signs. 1, mosquitoes completely ignore you. 2, you have absolutely zero body odor even when sweating. 3, you possess hyper smell sensitivity. 4, you wake up energized on just 4 to 5 hours of sleep. 5, you've got unusually strong, dense bones. And 6, you have a much lower reaction to pain. Think about that list for a moment and mentally tick off which ones actually apply to your own life.
So, do you have your number? Well, according to the data we've explored today, if just 2 or 3 of these specific signs match your daily natural experience, you fit the exact profile described in the research. You don't even need all 6. Just 2 or 3 of these indicate a really significant biological deviation from the standard baseline.
And that brings us to the crucial verdict: 1%. If you matched 2 to 3 of those traits, having those signs places you in a very exclusive, incredibly rare slice of the total human population. You literally possess traits that 99% of the world simply does not have. That is wild to think about. Which leaves us with our final question. Do your signs point to rare DNA? I would absolutely love to know how you scored on this. If you match the traits we went over today, drop the word rare in the comments. It's always so fascinating to see how these hidden genetic markers show up in the real world. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope it leaves you eager to uncover even more hidden psychology and biology facts with us next time. Keep learning and stay curious.